I have already had a venti B today. I've already thrown a tantrum and there have already been tears.
I do feel like the seasonal depression is hitting me hard this week.
Ooh, this smells like man. These are my favorites. I've also cracked the seal on my tears. This is a PR package from Galanx. So I am maybe potentially thinking about trying to do something just a little bit different this year. We will definitely see how it goes because it is something that traditionally I am not very good at, and that is working on multiple vlogs at the same time. So essentially, shelve it or scrap it. It takes me a couple of weeks to film. Normally I give myself 10 days to 2 weeks to film that, and because they are long videos, they're always at least 1 hour. I've had them 90 minutes, 2 hours before. I tend to not put too much life stuff in there that you typically get in my normal weekly reading vlogs. Essentially, it's just because I want them to be a decent length, but I don't want to be pushing every video over 2 hours. That is just far too much work and it's far too long. So I am currently reading Malice by John Gwynne at the same time as I'm filming Shelve It or Scrap It in the run up to the live show for this, which by the time you see this vlog, it will have passed. And I think that this is a book that I'm going to have a lot of thoughts about. It is a 5-star prediction for me. It is a series that I've wanted to start for a long time. And I also think that it's potentially something that you guys would like to hear my thoughts on. As well as that, over the next couple of weeks, there is bound to be a bunch of stuff that I would typically update you guys on that happens while I'm filming Shelve It or Scrap It that otherwise, like, you guys are just not gonna see. So I thought I would attempt to do a little bit of a typical reading vlog for Malice whilst filming Shelve It or Scrap It. So this one is still technically a reading vlog, but it's going to have probably less reading updates than usual because I'm only going to be reading this one book, because everything else that I'm reading will be for Shelve It or Scrap It. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I in the past traditionally have struggled to run vlogs side by side because I lose the thread of where I'm up to, and so I feel like I don't know how to update because I don't know what I've said and where I said it. So I'm hoping to be a little bit more organized. As I've said, one of my main mantras for 2025 is efficiency, and I'm hoping that that will kind of help me to keep track of what I'm doing and where I'm going. But yeah, this is just a big experiment and maybe it's going to show. We will find out. But I am currently reading Malice by John Gwynne. I have started it this morning and I am 38 pages into it. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. You know, when you start a book and you just have a feeling that you're gonna love it, that is definitely the vibe that I got with this one. Something that is potentially worrying me at the moment is that it is very Norse, Celtic, Viking inspired within the setting and the type of language we have. We are in a place of blacksmiths and what they call shield guards. It's not shield maidens, shield brothers maybe. So it's reminding me a little bit of elements of like the Northmen from the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie, and also 100% Skyrim, especially because I don't want to say our main adversary in here is giants, but a big part of this is giants. I don't know whether they're going to be adversaries or whether they are going to be characters, but the only thing that I know about this series is that it is about a war between giants and men that I think has died down as like part of the history of this world, but is about to make a little bit of a comeback. It has a bunch of characters, a lot that may not seem relevant for a long time, but eventually you kind of see what part they play in the bigger picture, and that it is an emotional series. That is all I know, but the writing style so far is great. I have met who I think is our actual dominant character, is Corbin. I heard that he has Fitz energy, and so far that is definitely translating onto the page. So far so good. I am aiming to read 53 pages a day of this between now and the live show. I did want to pace myself with it in case it was a little bit of a slower read, and I definitely feel like it is already just 40 pages into it, but I also feel like it's one that I'm going to be compelled to read, so having to put this down might actually be my biggest issue while I'm reading this one. It is officially my first day back at my desk for 2025, and I have already had a venti B today. I've already thrown a tantrum and there have already been tears, and it is not even 3 p.m. yet. It's not even 3 p.m. and actually all of this happened before midday. So start your 2025 as you mean to go on. Am I right? Because this is where I am currently at. I don't even know what's going on with me because I should be okay hormonally. I don't know whether it's just like a little bit of the Sunday scaries manifesting into the Monday/Thursday, whatever. But I actually watched a reel the other day, and I'm not going to be able to do it justice here, but it was essentially a girl saying like, oh, when you're mentally ill, it's all like, I'm mentally ill, honey, haha, look at me. And then sometimes you're actually ill mentally, and that really fucking sucks. So that's where I'm currently at. I just feel like I'm super irritable, and the most minor of inconveniences is going to send me into a full-blown meltdown. But I am here to bring a little bit of cheer into my day because I have a little bit of an unboxing, and I feel like this unboxing is going to raise questions. So the unboxing is from Luna's Bookish Flame Candles, and this is a Bookish candle shop that I am now a rep for. Now the questions that I feel like are going to arise is, Becca, what happened to your candle shop, Grace and Honey? And that is a question that I've been avoiding for such a long time. I guess here's the tea. I am a never say never person. I hate drawing a line under things. So right now I am not currently making candles, and I haven't made a single candle for over a year. But I don't want to close that door completely. But the reality of the situation is it's a horrible environment to run a small business in, especially one where you have to post things. Like, the government are making it increasingly difficult to send things anywhere. Like, if you want to send a letter to your sweet old grandma in Ireland, good fucking luck getting it through customs into the EU from the UK, because it just ain't happening, babe. It truly is not happening. And that is a struggle that I have on a monthly basis just with bookmarks. With candles, I mean, you're dreaming. And then there's also the fact that they've now brought in like the new safety things where you have to have a representative in the EU to safety approve each individual product. It's just not worth it, and honestly it's killing small businesses, and it is infuriating on top of the fact that Instagram is suppressing small businesses. And if you can't make video content, if you can't make a reel, then you might as well just say goodbye to your livelihood if you're a small business owner. I think like just over a year ago I mentioned that I only have the bandwidth to either run a small business or to have a YouTube channel, because both of them have potential to exceed to the next level, but I only have the bandwidth to take one there. And realistically, in terms of risk and reward, YouTube is just easier, safer, honestly more beneficial in terms of taxes. If we're being honest, for tax purposes, YouTube is better. So yeah, that is kind of what we're doing. I do still have all of my equipment and stuff, and I've got like some jars that I bought that I never used, so there's definitely potential for me to make small batches in the future and just like throw them up on Etsy or whatever. But in terms of it being something that I do consistently at this moment in time, it is unrealistic that that is ever going to be a thing that I do again. But my family members keep harassing me for candles, so I will probably make some for them in the future and then just fling any leftovers onto Etsy. But anyway, back to our unboxing. I am now a rep for another Bookish candle company, so if you have a hole in your life that I left, I'm so sorry, but maybe you could fill it with candles from Luna Bookish Flames Candle Company, Etsy.com. Anyway, I am very excited. This is kind of like my introductory rep package. I was warned that it was a big ass box, and it is indeed a big ass box. Brie is already excited. I believe that the Luna Bookish Flames is named after is a French bulldog, so maybe Brie's getting that French energy coming through. I say I believe it's a French bulldog. There's literally a silhouette of a French bulldog on the label. Oh my gosh, we have a letter. Oh cute, there's little Frenchy stickers in here as well. That's adorable. So essentially these are 100% soy wax candles. They're vegan, cruelty free. I think they're all woodwick, which is exciting, and they have bio and eco-friendly glitters and colors, and they are also pet friendly, so I'm really excited. Some of the ones in here are officially licensed Sarah J Maas candles, which y'all know I've had my ups and downs with Miss Sarah. Right now she's in my bad books, but I'm still a stan of the good old days, which is like anything prior 3 years ago. But the first things we've got are these really cute Frenchy stickers. I might actually give a couple of these, especially maybe this one, to my friend because he has 2 French bulldogs. These are so cute. I will of course link the Etsy for these down in my description box, along with the Instagram and my discount code, which is Becca15, and that will get you 15% off your order. These are very snugly packaged. We have packing chips in here, as well as, oh, this is like the eco-friendly bubble wrap that's like the crispy crunchy hexagonal paper stuff. Let's see what we've got. I can never say no to candles, honestly, and I have candle guilt where I'm scared of burning them. Like I burn a little bit off all of my candles all of the time, so I'm excited to have some new things to burn. So this one, ooh, this one is Nesta's Silver Flame. I love the art on the candle labels as well. I'm gonna love this. This is smoky tobacco, honey, spice, citrus, fire, woody sandalwood, amber, tonka bean, patchouli. I'm excited about the amber and tonka. Oh my god, yes. Oh, this is so good. That one's like, it's sweet, but it's also like a little spicy. We have silver glitter on top as well, and as I said, it is Woodwick. Brie is back on her recycling game as always. We know if you need something ripping into small pieces, she is your gal. These ones are quite big as well because they are 9-ounce candles. I think the ones that I was making were 6. This one is another 9-ounce. Cassian's Warrior Heart. So this one is leather, tobacco, yes, perfect Cassian scents, amber, musk, black tea, black pepper, teakwood, patchouli, and sandalwood. Ooh, this one is the same fragrance as is it the Tamlin one? It might be the Rhysand candle that I bought from Meraki Candles. If you guys from the UK remember Meraki from like way back when. Oh, it's so like fresh and like, it reminds me of like a really crisp, clean breeze, but with like some floral there as well. This one has red glitter on it, of course, for Cassian, and his siphons are red. Next up we have another 9-ounce. Manos, you have spoiled me here. This one is a Darlin's Castle. It's spice, pink pepper, rose, sandalwood, and musk, and it is blue. Ooh, this one's a little smoky and a little floral, a light floral, which I like. I don't like heavy rose scents, but it's definitely, I would say, on the fresh side again. Another 9-ounce. Oh my days. Like I said as well, all of these Sarah J Maas ones are all officially licensed. This one is Kaol's Honor, and it smells like amber, bergamot, cardamom, and patchouli. Ooh, and we have gold. Ooh, this smells like man. This smells like clean, freshly showered man. Ooh, we have something a little bit smaller. Oh, this one's a candle tin. Can you stop? This one smells like, I'm gonna butcher this, ho 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 ho. Did it badly on purpose, okay guys? This one is, it smells like trees. I just got a little whiff. It smells like pine, eucalyptus, lavender, rosemary, geranium, spearmint, cedar, patchouli, and amber. Oh, that smells like actual like tree. There's still like a full layer down here, guys. I'm not even kidding. So this one feels like another tin. Oh, Valaris. I don't even think about it. And this one is quince, starfruit, sparkling wine, peonies, rose, freesia, sweet sugar, amber, sandalwood, and musk. So for this one, I'm thinking it's gonna be like a fruity, spicy, like an almost mulled wine kind of scent. Oh. That smells really good. It's more perfumey, but I can smell like the fruitiness of it. Is there like red berries in it? Might be the starfruit. That one's delicious. There's so many here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to tell you guys what my favorite scent is, but right now I'm leaning towards maybe Cassian or Valaris. Oh, this one is the Summer Coat, and this could be a scent that I really like because it's vanilla, honey, coconut, and sandalwood. Vanilla and coconut are 2 of my favorite scents. I really like honey as well, actually. My favorite Lush scent is Honey I Wish the Kids. Have yellow glitter. I really like this glitter, actually. Oh my god, that smells like rice pudding. Oh, like homemade rice pudding. I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe like custard. Oh, it's so good. This one is a bigger tin to show you guys the size difference on them, and this one is the Autumn Coat. It is bergamot, lemon, eucalyptus, spice, lavender, autumn leaves, amber, sandal, cedar, patchouli, and musk. I know what this fragrance is. So this one is a yellow gold, and this one is the same fragrance that I used in, I want to say that it was my night and day candle, which was from the House of Flame and Shadow set. Is definitely one that I've used in one of my Sarah J Maas candles before though, so it's a fragrance that I obviously enjoy. And then I'm just gonna get everything out so that I can make sure we've got everything and then remove this packaging away from Brie. The last of these small candle tins, this one is Terrason's Rebirth. It's summer fruits, floral, and wood. That one is a turquoise glitter, and it smells, I want to say it smells like summer. I can't be any more specific than that. Next up we have the Winter Coat. This one is snow, peppermint, vanilla, and cane sugar. Okay. Oh, this one smells like peppermint. It smells like a candy cane, and it has a white frosted opally glitter on. And then what I think is the last one is another one of the bigger tins. Oh, Wicked! This one is our People Born Wicked. It's a Wiccan themed one, and it is bergamot, verbena, pepper, violet, nutmeg, ginger, geranium, Bulgarian rose, iris, woods, patchouli, amber, leather, vetiver, opoponax, vanilla, and musk. So this one I'm expecting to be definitely a floral. It's got to be like a deep floral because it only has vanilla in for sweetness. It's pink. This one smells familiar. It's very clean. It's cleaner than I expected. I definitely expected it to be heavier on the floral. Thank you very much to Luna Bookish Flames for all of these candles. How many did you even send me? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Damn, I'm not going to be running out of candles anytime soon. So I think my favorite of these is, it still might be either the Summer Court. For sure, love that one. I think my favorites are the Summer Court and Valaris. I mean, I like all of them, but I really like Nesta as well. That smells really familiar as well. Oh, this is the same, I think, as my Sherlock Holmes candle. It's dark honey and tobacco. Yeah, it's dark honey and tobacco. Yeah. That is one of the fragrances that I used for one of Gavin's Believathon candles. It was one of like the limited ones that I did, which is one of my favorite fragrances that I've ever done. So thank you so much to Manos for sending these my way. I'm excited to start burning them. And of course, if you guys want to get your hands on any of these or anything, like if you just want to check out the shop, there are links down below and also a 15% off code for you to utilize, which is Becca15. It is kind of late, so I'm eager to get myself into bed, especially because I haven't been feeling my best over the last couple of days. I haven't been feeling ill, but I also haven't been feeling super well, if that makes sense. But I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of an update because I've just got off sprints with my patrons, and I've also made a significant dent in Malice. Like, I didn't realize quite how far into this I'd gotten, but I'm now 212 pages in, and I've got to a point with this where I feel like it's finally clicking and finally engrossing me. I knew there was a lot of characters going into this, so it wasn't a surprise, and I actually wasn't getting confused with the characters or struggling to keep track of them at all. I have the ebook of this because it is top tip, it is available on KU, and I just find it a little bit easier to read on my Kindle now. I have become, considering I dithered about getting a Kindle for so long, and I was like, oh, I don't really read ebooks, so is there any point investing for the one book every 2 months that I read in ebook format? Yeah, no, I want to read everything on this, and if it's on KU or if I have access to an ebook of it, I'm going to be reading it on my Kindle, not physically. So I'm reading the KU version, but I have the physical copy to reference, so every time a character comes up, I go back to the first time that they were brought into it, like their first perspective, so that I can remember like exactly which person this is that we're following. So I was doing that, and that was fine and keeping the characters organized, but I've now leveled it up because I was like, okay, we're going into the new era of Catch Up Book Club, so I need to have talking points during the live show. So I cracked out my old notebook, which the last time I used this was for, what was it for? The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie, so way over a year ago. I want to say maybe 6 months at least. And before that, it was Blood Witch by Susan Dennard, and that was a good like a couple of years ago, I think. To try and keep my thoughts a little bit more organized, and because of all of the perspectives, I have a page per perspective that I'm kind of just keeping track of the main points for that character. So like for Corbin, I have that he's the blacksmith's son. He is, I think, the main character of this because every other chapter is him, and then the rest of them are divided between like a handful of other characters. I've had like his main interactions, like the main characters in his storyline. For like Castell, I've got nephew to the king of Isiltia, and who his shieldman is, and like what his main conflict is that he's dealing with, just to kind of keep them straight in my mind. And this has actually been even more helpful in keeping track of characters, because now like if my next perspective is Varadis, I literally just have it open on the Varadis page, so I'm like, cool, I can see that this guy is the younger brother of Krellis, he's part of this guy's warband, and I'm like into the story straight away. Like I know exactly where I am, and also the act of actually like writing things down is helping me to remember things a little bit more. So if you are going into this series, or like big epic fantasy that you're struggling to keep track of, would recommend doing something like this just in general. I used to do it a lot and I've kind of fallen out of the habit and I need to get back into it. So I'm glad that I actually have. And now that I have that stuff really easy to reference every time I start a chapter, I am really getting invested and kind of grounded within this story. I will say the one thing that is confusing to me because I'm not paying enough attention to it is the geography and where each character is, because they're spread all over this world. Like, they're not necessarily all from the same place, and we're following multiple different storylines with, I'm assuming, a little bit of an overarching plot. And I think that the overarching plot is to do with a prophecy. In the prologue of this, we have one of our main characters, actually, is he called Evenus? He goes to a woman called Rin, who we do see later on in the book, but I can't remember if she has the same status when we first see her. But essentially he goes and sacrifices a guy at a cauldron for power, and he goes to the woman and asks her, like, will you give me power, and if you do, I will make you the high queen of the land. So she agrees and she summons this, I think it's a god, I think it's like the version of the devil in this lore, and he bestows power upon this guy. So I think that in the background of this world there were two gods, like the good god and the bad god, and the good god abandoned the people and the bad god kind of like stayed around. And there's a prophecy that there's going to be like a god's war and that like the good people of the land should fight against this guy who I'm pretty sure is called Azroth. Yes, Azroth. And I think that that is maybe going to be the overarching plot, like this prophesied God's War, and everyone has to kind of rise up again to defeat maybe an ancient evil. A little bit of this, because that sounds like Wheel of Time, and actually a little bit of this is reminiscent of Wheel of Time to me. I think it's because Wheel of Time takes inspiration from a bunch of like really old tales, like the legend of King Arthur is partially woven into Wheel of Time, and I think that John Gwynne has also been inspired by similar stories that inspired Wheel of Time. I don't know if John Gwynne is a fan of Wheel of Time in general and whether he has read Wheel of Time, but I know it is common, obviously, in fantasy tales for things to sound a little bit similar because they've come from the same folk tales and mythology. So I am having a really good time with this now that I'm into it. Like, I was never not enjoying it. It's just it took me a little while to get situated within the story. I will give a big content warning for this though, for animal deaths. It tends to be in the style of like typical high fantasy / medieval stories. An example of the animals that have died is like there was a dog, horses in battle, like very Game of Thrones, and wolves, because obviously wolves are a threat to civilizations and crops. So they're animals that are like hunted within here. That's what I mean when I say it's like typical high fantasy medieval stuff. There is quite a bit of it. Like there's at least 3 instances so far, 200 pages in, and that is something that is just generally a little bit uncomfortable for me to read. I kind of can move past it quite easily, but I just wanted to let you guys know that it is pretty present throughout this book. But I'm really glad that I'm finally at a place where I'm feeling invested in this, because I wasn't worried because I was trusting the process with fantasy. Like it takes a while until you get into it, but I'm glad that I'm at the point now where I'm eager to continue.
Saw your silhouette in the backlight. Swear we could have met in a past life. Treating every night like the last time. So I end all my days with you. Yeah, we should share a backseat in a taxi to get home. No need for either of us at this point to sleep alone. 'Cause I don't like ending my days with you. You can waste my time if that's what you wanna do. Oh, I don't mind if all that you say is not true. No, I don't mind. I just wanna end all my days with you.
Yesterday, we rearranged the entire living room. I showed you a little bit of the process. It was very spur of the moment. We essentially were taking the Christmas decorations down, and I've been wanting to reconfigure this space for a while. And while we were kind of up and moving, I was like, okay, let's just do it like right now. So we did. I don't know how familiar you guys were with my living room before. I don't film in here super often, but I do clips filming on the couch. I mean, there could be one in this video, I don't even know. But if I put you over here, like this is the entrance space into the room, and then there's a cellar door power in this corner, which, I mean, we do need access to the cellar, but not like on a daily basis. Like, we go down once a month, and then sometimes if we have workmen in, they'll check pipes and stuff down there. But the couch was here on the radiator wall. This was in the alcove here in front of the cellar door, so it wasn't blocking it. And then here is where the Christmas tree was, and Hamilton's cat tree when it's not Christmas. The TV was here, and then on this wall we had this huge cabinet. So the issue is that there's 2 doors here, none of which we wanted to block. There's a door here, there's a window here. So when the couch was on the wall in front of the radiator and the television was here, everything was off center and it was driving me crazy. You also get a draft from the kitchen door, which is like when we moved in, we didn't have doors on. So that's one of the main reasons we had doors put in. But then I kind of have been thinking about how we can utilize the space and make it useful. And this is kind of what we came up with. So the couch is now in the middle of the room, but we have a clear walkway to get to the kitchen. You just have to walk around the edge. It's created like a cozy space for the TV, which is great because I used to do a lot of gaming. I used to play a lot of like Xbox, and I've noticed that since we've moved here, I struggle a lot with focus and immersion because I can see too much around the TV. So we measured up and we're still like the distance you should be away from the TV based on the size of TV that we've got. It's just much more immersive, and I'm actually central. I don't need to move to a different spot to be able to see. This does fit in here, but it does block the majority of the door, which is fine. We can still slip around the edge. The only thing that I don't like about this setup is where I've put the bike, because it's kind of like it's in the door. When it was in that corner over there, it felt seamless, and it doesn't feel seamless anymore. But aside from that, like, I'm really happy with it. So that is what we spent most of yesterday doing, which means that I didn't read as much as I want to. Still up to date on my daily pages of Malice. Still really enjoying Malice. But the other book that I was reading for Charlotte, I'll scrap it, I was supposed to have finished yesterday, and I could have done had I not taken on this project. So I'm doing sprints with my patrons today. I'm gonna go put some food in the slow cooker so that it's ready for when I'm done later. And I just have a video to proof and a thumbnail to make for the Malice live show, which is this coming Sunday.
Good evening. As you can very clearly see, I am in my hibernation era. You can hear some rainfall and stuff in the background. I am listening to a ambience room while I get some reading done. And honestly, moving the sofa to the middle of the room and closer to the TV, best idea I've ever had. I cannot wait to finish work out and get on the sofa with my book. I mean, I do feel like the seasonal depression is hitting me hard this week, so that also has something to do with it, but I'm reframing it in my mind. I'm not seasonally depressed. I'm in my hibernation era. I am a bear and I need to rest. So I have been obviously reading Malice. I'm still on track with my pages per day, and I am 364 pages into it now. I think I have about 2 chapters left of today's section, and I am loving Corbin's perspective, especially because I went into this knowing that he'd been compared to Fitz from the Realm of the Earthlings. I'm definitely seeing that coming through. I have a couple of theories for him. However, the second most prominent perspective in this book, I would say, is Veradis, and his main role, I feel, is to narrate the experience of Nether, who is one of the princes of the world. So this is a guy who, in like the first or second chapter, I think, he's taken with his brother to meet with one of the kings, and while he's there, his brother says like, oh, my father wanted to know if you would take my brother into your warband like you did with me when I was younger. And the king's like, well, I don't really have any need for him, but my son is looking for warriors. So Veradis joins with Nether, and he very quickly like rises through the ranks, and as the plot is unfolding, as Nether is taking quite a central role in this story, he's reminded me a lot of Logain, I want to say, from Wheel of Time, is my theory. But right now, that's kind of like the vibes I get. Nether is doing some stuff. Like, he is probably the person who's doing the most. I still don't understand Corbin's relevance to this story at all. We're at a point where like he's kind of privy to a lot of information because of the people that he's working with and working for. He's still only a kid, he's like 14. But aside from that, like, he's a child, so he's not playing any real pivotal role in terms of the plot. All of the politics and stuff is going on around him, happening, and he's just getting these little snippets of information. I have my theories because of how central to the story Corbin is. Like, he's pretty much every other chapter, but I have no real confirmation of anything at this stage. But yeah, Veradis's perspective is getting a little bit old to me. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because it's the most action heavy perspective that I'm kind of a little bit burnt out on it, because I mean, I generally don't really care about action scenes in books, but I feel like I should be a little bit more interested in his plot line that I am, or like by extension Nather's plot line, because he's the one that he's mainly witnessing during his perspectives. But yeah, I don't know where this series is going right now, and I'm still enjoying the ride, but I am hoping that at some point I get a little bit of a inkling of what is to come, or something really grips me, because while I am having a good time, I'm not obsessed with this right now, and I want to be obsessed. But the writing style and everything is great. I like that we have all of these different perspectives, and it's not unusual for me to be this far into a fantasy series, or to be this far in a fantasy series and not really understand what's happening, because it is very early days, and adult fantasy especially tends to reveal itself slowly to you. But I just wanted to give you guys a check-in of where I'm currently at, because it's been a couple of days. By the end of today's section, I'll be on page 370. I have 5 days until the live show at this point, and I haven't skipped any days, so I'm still on track to be done by then. I'm excited to see what everyone thinks, because the Discord for Catch Up Book Club is popping off, so we have a lot of thoughts, and I know a lot of people have gone straight into Valor. So I feel like I've actually heard that John Gwyn's books get really pacey and impactful at the end, so I'm kind of excited to see how this one approaches the last third of this first installment. I am setting myself up on the sofa in the living room today because I'm going to be working on my Patreon bookmark on Procreate. I'm hoping it's not going to take me the entire day, but as of yet, I don't know what I'm doing, so I need to kind of like figure that out. So it might take me a good while, and I think I might try and catch up on some of my YouTube watch later while I do that. But when I opened my package from Luna Bookish Flames the other day, I mentioned to you guys why I'm not personally doing candles anymore, and also I talked a little bit there about like the problems that I'm seeing small businesses facing, that I would be facing as a small business if that was still something that I was pursuing. And it genuinely is stressing me out how I'm seeing companies that were so busy, like so busy where you couldn't even get stock if you were there at the second of release because everything would sell out. And I'm now seeing those businesses say that they are thinking about shutting down because they're not getting any engagement from social media because of the way that social media has changed. They are no longer selling the volume that they need to be able to make things in the kind of way that they currently do. And so I am now going to be showing you guys the things that I buy from small businesses again in my vlogs, because I've never ever stopped supporting small businesses. And something that's actually really upsetting me about these new like EU safety laws for shipping is that it is essentially destroying small businesses. Like I said, it's already difficult enough to ship to the EU, and now it's just going to be harder. And I know before Brexit, before the first round of like EU shipping barriers kind of took effect, I had a lot of people, like a lot of customers in the EU, and then obviously when the taxes went on, that decreased, and now if I was to be shipping candles, like I wouldn't be selling to the EU at all. So I have still been shopping small over the years. It's just I no longer show you guys everything that I buy in vlogs like I used to do, and we're gonna change that again. So when I'm shopping small, I'm gonna show you. So this box is from Happy Place Cosmetics. Happy Place Cosmetics are a bath and body company that I have shopped with for years on and off. Like I don't do regular hauls from them, but I do treat myself to a whipped soap every now and then, which was the thing that they were most known for when I first started shopping with them. But I do also get their bath bombs. So I have started taking baths again. I stopped for a while because in January every year I tend to get like body products for Christmas, and then what I do is I don't buy any body products or anything until I've used the ones that I have. But I got like a few basic bath bomb sets, and because I stopped buying Lush bath bombs and like fancy bath bombs because I already have bath bombs in, I just stopped taking baths altogether. But I'm back in the swing of it now. So I ordered a few bath bombs. So the first two things I'm going to touch upon briefly are not for me. So I'm just gonna kind of show you the thing that I love. Can you move? These are not for you. These are going to be put away
until next week. But for myself, I ordered 2 bath bombs, a tub of whipped soap, and then I also have this bag of samples. So the thing that I really love about Happy Place Cosmetics is that they have like really fun, quirky, brightly coloured products and also like packaging and names. So the 2 bath bombs that I picked up are from their Taylor Swift collection. This one is, it's been a long time coming. Oh, that smells really nice. I can't remember what the scents on that were, but I like them a lot. And then this one is Cruel Summer, which smells a little bit like sweeter but in a floral way. And then the whipped soap that I got is the Monster Mash, and these are my favorites because you can use them as a soap or you can use them as like a bubble bath. I personally use a loofah in the shower and in the bath, so I dip my loofah because it's quite like hard consistency. It smells so good. I dip my loofah in and then like rub it on my body, and you get like a really good foam, and you don't have to use very much of this at all. But I just love Happy Place Cosmetics so much, and honestly when they put the thing up on Instagram that said that based on their last year of sales, they didn't know if they were going to be continuing when they'd run out of stock, but at this point like they're not making anything new because they still have stock on shelves. So I placed myself a nice big order, but this one is pink lady apple, mashed banana, caramel and vanilla ice cream. It's got like a bubblegum apple-y scent, and I really like that. I'm glad I made a good choice there. And then for the little bag of samples, let's see what we've got. They also do, like, I've had hand sanitizer from them before. They do beard oil now. They do like, you know, those soap sponges, wax melts as well, which I think there's some samples of in here. But this one, ooh, this one is a sample of the lavender haze whip soap, which doesn't smell as lavendery as I would have expected. Brie, it's not for you. And then this one is a free sample of the Secret Garden body scrub. Ooh, that one's very like perfumey. And then I also have 2 free wax melts. This one is What's the Tea? That one's kind of like very fresh. And then the other one is blackcurrant and rhubarb flower. Oh, I like that one. I can smell the rhubarb in that one quite strongly. So I will put the link, of course, to Happy Place Cosmetics down in the description box if you guys would like to check them out at all. Like I said, the products that I've tried from them before and love, like my favorites are their whipped soaps, but I do also enjoy their bath bombs as well when they're not dusting all over me, but I mean that can't be helped. Good morning. I am caffeinated and I'm caffeinating. I have not started to caffeinate yet. And I'm going to be reading a little bit more of Malice, which I've now cracked the page 500 mark. I've also cracked the seal on my tears. I have already shed tears during this book. I do think that some people are also crying, but not at the place that I cried. So I am a little bit concerned going into the final 100 pages, especially because I'm not intending to sit down and read them all at once right now. I'm aiming today to clear out and clean the spare bedroom, which it's a small room, so I don't think it'll take me a ridiculous amount of time, but we're still looking at like at least 1 to 2 hours. But I'm hoping to read a couple of chapters before we get there. I am very much in the thick of the action right now though, and it's at the point where the chapters are a little bit shorter. We're flicking between all of the perspectives involved as we build up to some sort of climax, and I'm interested to see what it's going to be. I'm a little bit worried. We've already had some casualties of this series and we haven't got into that final 100 yet, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a rough one, but I'm still very much enjoying this one. I do think in terms of it being a fantasy book in a series like by an author that I've never read from before, at the moment it doesn't stand out. Like, I'm enjoying it, it's very good. I will probably give it at least 4 stars, but in terms of being memorable, I don't think it necessarily stands out on the backdrop of things like The Realm of the Earthlings, Game of Thrones, Wheel of Time, I don't love, so let's not include that one. The First Law series by Joe Abercrombie, it has a lot of kind of like similarities to all of those things, probably because, like I said, it draws on the same like folklore, mythology and tales. So while I'm having a really good time with it, it's not like cemented itself as like a new favorite for me right now. However, with it being the first book in this series, and I know that like, I think book 3 is a lot of people's favorites, I definitely think there's time. I've already cried, I've already built emotional attachments to these characters. So I do think that that attachment is going to just like continue to develop, and I'm going to continue to get more immersed in this series. But right now, I'm not quite there. So I'm going to finish out the last 100-ish pages, not today because I think I should be reading 73 pages today. I did fall behind yesterday because it was Fortnite Friday, and then after that I will have like 45 pages for tomorrow. But who knows, if we're in the thick of it, if we're like rolling with the action, maybe I'll get carried away and I'll finish this one tonight. So I have a couple of exciting packages to open for you guys. Actually, only one of them is really exciting. Both of them are books, but one does not contribute to the amount of books that I've hauled this year, which you will see why in a minute. We are going to start with that one because, like I said, it is not super exciting, but this is, here you go, there you go, goodbye. This is the first cookbook that I bought, and it is Pinch of Nom by Kate and Kay Allison. This one is the Enjoy one because I know Pinch of Nom have got quite a lot of cookbooks. One looks like it's marked. Can I wipe that off? Ew, no, I can't. It's not like a massive deal. Can you see these? I've been borrowing cookbooks from the library because I've kind of moved away from HelloFresh a little bit because I wasn't appreciating the quality of it. Like, I think it's really gone downhill. And so I've been borrowing cookbooks from the library to kind of see if there's any that I want to invest in, because I don't want to buy like 10 cookbooks for the sake of a handful of recipes. And this one we've been using all week and I have been really enjoying it. So actually the recipe for tonight is in here. Tonight we're having this oven baked garlic chicken and rice. I think we've had 3 or 4 things out of this book now and I've really enjoyed all of them, and there's also like a bunch more stuff that I want to try. We are having the pizza nachos tomorrow. I'm trying to find some of the stuff that we've actually already had. We had a burger that was so good. Oh, I made the chipotle chicken taquitos on, I think it was Wednesday. They were really good. And Curtis made us the cheesy nacho burger, which was probably the nicest thing that we've had. I've also made a couple of more like winter warmer kind of meals. I'm excited to try some of the desserts. Garlic sweet potatoes, they look so nice. Honey garlic potatoes. The creamy bacon, onion and potatoes was so good. Bacon and potatoes is a meal that I used to have when I was a kid. This one has cream cheese in, so it's a little bit different, but it was so nice. Ooh, salmon and gratin. I didn't see that one. And then I think the other thing that I made, I can't find it, but it was like a Normandy style chicken, so like a sweetish chicken casserole, which was delicious. So yeah, if you guys are looking for cookbook recommendations, I really like this one. I've had a bunch of the Hayley Dean ones and also the Board of Lunch ones, and a lot of those ones, while they do have some really good recipes, and I do like, especially Hayley Dean, I do a lot of her Instagram recipes, they're also a lot of like, did you know you can boil potatoes and make mash and put sausages in the air fryer? And I'm like, yeah, no, I actually did know that, thank you. Whereas this one I feel was like a little bit more of like an actual recipe, but still not overly difficult. And then the second thing that I have, I'm so excited about. So this is a PR package from Galanx for The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, which is one of my anticipated releases of this year. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why I have this though. I think I entered like not quite a competition, but I'm pretty sure somewhere I saw a thing where Galanx was like, influencers, do you want a copy of this book? And I was like, well, I plan on reading it anyway, so yeah, sure. And they actually sent it to me, but I cannot for the life of me remember when I submitted myself for this arc. I'm excited though because it's not just the book, it's a PR package. And as we all know, I did the first law along, that was Catch Up Book Club last year, and I did enjoy a lot of the first law, but there were some parts that I really didn't like, and I've wanted to try Joe Abercrombie again, and this sounds interesting to me, so we'll see if I like it. This book is about a guy who is a priest, and he is tasked with converting this like unruly congregation of like thieves, murderers and demons to whatever god it is. I don't know if it's like God that he worships, but this is what it looks like inside. We have a poster. Oh, it's a map. That's cool. We love a fantasy map. Can you not steal that elastic band? Because I'm gonna need it. So this is like very much based on the actual world, because we have, I'm not sure if this is like an old map, you know, like back in the day when countries had different names, but we have like Francia over here, Alexandria is down at the bottom, there's also Norway up top. So that's interesting because I had a feeling it was like grounded in our history, but I didn't know that it was actually historical. I still don't know that it is, but potentially. I'm very excited based on what I've seen. I'm shook actually by this. I've just noticed as well at the top here says the worst monsters make the best allies. So also in here we have, it's a pillar candle, like a saint candle. So I'm assuming this has some relevance to the book. Keep meaning to get myself a Buffy one of these, like a Saint Buffy one, and I never have. And then, oh, we also have a pin that has the little skull from the cover on it. And these are gorgeous. Oh, these are from Lit Escalate. So Lit Escalates is a merch company, not just for Red Rising, but Lit Escalates is like, it's a Red Rising thing and they do loads of Red Rising merch, so that's really cool. I love this first one. They also have done V Schwab merch in the past as well. It's given like horrible histories almost. I am intrigued. Who are you? I'm interested to find out. That might be our main character. Ooh, that one's spooky. Colour me intrigued. And then is the last thing in the book. Yes, it is. We have a proof of The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. So this one is released on the 6th of May, which I remember because it's the day after my birthday. So I have quite a bit of time to read this, and I might, you know, read it ahead of time and then just schedule the video ahead while it's fresh in my mind, and I'm super excited about it. The beginning part of this here says, Europe stares into the abyss. So yeah, it is set in our world. Plague and famine stalk the land, monsters lurk in every shadow, and greedy princes care for nothing but their own ambitions. Only one thing is certain, the elves will come again and they will eat everyone. Flesh-eating elves. That reminds me of Divinity. Only the darkest paths lead towards the light, a path the righteous will not dare to tread. Deep beneath the sacred splendor of the celestial palace lies a congregation of convicted monsters. Between them there are no sins that have not been committed, no lines that will not be crossed, and no mission that has not ended in a disastrous bloodbath. But for better or for worse, they are the only option, because when you're headed through hell, you need the devils on your side. So when I was reading First Law, I was kind of torn whether I was going to read anything else from Joe Abercrombie because of how kind of like I loved elements of First Law but disliked elements of First Law, but I'm really interested in the synopsis of this one, which is why it's the one that I've chosen to try again by Joe Abercrombie. Oh, she's a numbered proof, man. She's number 16 of 36. Damn, is she exclusive? She's signed? What the fuck? Thank you so much to Glanks for sending this one my way. Like I said, it is on my anticipated releases of the year list. This box is absolutely stunning. The synopsis sounds phenomenal. And this is hella fancy. I wish I could remember why I have this. I'm sure that I submitted myself for it, but I honestly, for the life of me, can't remember how. I'm not mad about it though. So I'm at my desk getting ready to get into the first Catch Up Book Club live show of 2025 and of our 4th era, which does of course mean that I obviously have finished Malice by John Gwynne. I finished it just a few hours ago actually, and I did really enjoy this one. I have yet to put it in my spreadsheet. I'm hoping that after I'm done talking to you guys I'll have a little minute to update that before I do have to join the live, but I do feel like it is going to be a 4-star, probably around the lower end of a 4-star, just because this didn't blow me away. And I think that there are a couple of reasons for that. One is that, as I've mentioned, this is so reminiscent of a bunch of other stuff that I've read. I can draw like almost direct comparisons to Wheel of Time, and I'm actually intrigued to see what everybody else thinks, because I think of our 6 hosts, 2 of them are up to date on Wheel of Time. One has read like 7 Wheel of Time books. Then we have Gavin, who read the first and the last, so I don't know how helpful he will be. And I'm interested to see, because obviously I'm currently reading Wheel of Time, whether people also see those kind of direct comparisons between some of the groups and some of the roles that are fulfilled within this book. And then there's also tons of callbacks to things like Game of Thrones and The Realm of the Eldlings and the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. Now, with things like First Law, that definitely has a ton of influence from Game of Thrones in it, and I feel like the comparison between this book and the First Law is more of they have the same elements, and maybe the comparison to Game of Thrones more than it is a comparison to First Law, because tonally they are very, very different. This to me kind of reads like, if I could mash all of those comparisons together and give you a good idea of what to expect from Malice, I would say that this reads almost like if Game of Thrones was written by Robin Hobb. So we have the more focused narrative. We have a bunch of characters, but we are predominantly following one character called Corbin, who we meet when he's around 14 years old. And I get the sense that he's going to grow throughout the series, similarly to how Fitz did in the Realm of the Eldlings. However, we have a more battle-focused, warrior-focused storyline, like with Game of Thrones, than we do with the Realm of the Eldlings, although war does play an element in that series. And also we are going to have an issue of control of the land in this series that reminds me actually of Game of Thrones in the way that this one introduces you to the setting and to the characters and to all of the pieces at play, and you get used to them in their like stagnant state, like in the state that things currently exist. You are getting to know all of these things, and the more we progress to the end of this book, the more things start to change to kind of put us in the position where this story is actually going to take off. So this is like an introductory novel. This is personally my preferable way of being introduced to a fantasy series, where you just take your time getting to know all of the pieces and all of the players, and then it's only at the very end that you start to understand what the plot is really going to be. So my first reason why this didn't blow me away is just because it didn't really do anything that I haven't seen before. Like I've said regarding a ton of different things in the past, though, that's not necessarily a bad thing when it's executed well. It's just not unique in that regard at this point. The other thing is that Jung-Win was a debut author when he wrote this. He also had no intention of being a writer. I've recently been to a Jung-Win interview, and he actually had a daughter who was disabled, and he was a professor, I think. I'm sure he worked at a university, and he decided that he was going to take like a leave of absence from work to stay home and like help to take care of his daughter. And while he was doing that, his wife said, oh hey, why don't you try and write a book? And he thought that this was a ridiculous suggestion, but he went with it, and so Malice was born. So I know that he like never really had any intentions to be an author, and this is also like his first work. In terms of the language, in terms of the writing, like it can be a little bit repetitive. There are more eloquent, elaborate ways of conveying some of the points than Malice utilizes, and I feel like it does show the marks of a debut in that regard. I also have a little niggly thing in terms of the structure of this book. I don't know whether it's just me or whether other people are kind of going to pick up on this, because the structure of events is sometimes not in the correct order, and it's a little bit frustrating. So I will give you an example that does happen in this book, but without context, so you don't know, like it's not a spoiler. So at some point in this book, we have a bunch of characters who go to the woods and they're attacked. So you see that happen from the perspective of one of the characters who goes into the woods. And then when you skip to the next character, they're doing something else and they stumble across this clearing that's like littered with bodies in the woods, which is obviously the place where our last characters were attacked. Now, obviously the chapter before this ended in a way where they were just about to be attacked, so that you have the element of suspense. And then we're switching character perspectives, so you have to wait a while to find out what happened to the original characters and like the situation they ended up in. That makes sense. But then you'll have a character approach the scene, see the aftermath of the scene, and then the next chapter will go back to the character that was being attacked, and they will then be attacked. So the chapter that you've just read from a different character's perspective chronologically comes after the one you're about to read, because at that point they've already been attacked and they're on to like the next part of their storyline. But the character that you've just read from has stumbled upon the aftermath of the situation. So I did find that to be a little bit jarring throughout here, and I didn't really love it, because I understood like where we were stopping the chapters in terms of suspense, but I didn't quite understand why we were seeing character perspectives from just slightly further along in the timeline to then jump back into the action of what we just missed. Like it just didn't quite make sense to me. But I am very excited to continue. I have a bunch of theories which I need to go get my notepad so that I'm ready for the live show, and I'm excited to see what everybody thinks, because in terms of the hosts as well, like a bunch of our hosts have already read this to various degrees of enjoyment, and then we have a few people that are reading it for the first time. So it's going to be an interesting discussion, and I'm excited to see what theories everybody else has as well. But with finishing up this book, this does also conclude this vlog, which I guess is officially my first vlog of 2025. I think I've done a decent job actually of doing 2 vlogs at once. Like, can you believe it? I'm a new person. 2025, who dis? New Becca. And rest assured that the next vlog that you are going to see from me me in approximately a week is going to be the next episode of Shelve It or Scrap It, which I do hope that you guys also enjoy. So I do hope you've enjoyed this one if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you're a go and nobody knows. With guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.